Slammy, Ego, Slammy, Ego, Slammy, hey. You already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. But you know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome, episode 614, Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. Ben Fadden with you here on July 4th, 2024. Hopefully, everybody is having a great holiday here today and going to have a good holiday weekend here with the D-backs coming into town starting tomorrow night. But first, let's talk about this Padres series win over the Texas Rangers in Arlington. Seems like a pretty cool ballpark just watching on TV. So maybe one day I'll get there. But Padres, they take 2 out of 3. They took 2 out of 3 against the Boston Red Sox as well. So that means that is a winning road trip. 4-2 on the road trip. Padres record now after today's 3-1 win, 48-43, 5 games over 500. And they're in a good spot for a postseason spot. I get it. It's only July 4th, but I'm going to keep mentioning it because that's all I care about is if this team makes the postseason. That's what I care about right now. Then when they make the postseason, that's when we can talk about, okay, win this series, blah, blah, blah. But for right now, as long as they're in that postseason positioning, that's what I care about. And that's where they're at right now. They're playing some pretty good baseball. Seems like the vibes are good. Profar is an all-star starter. Tatis would have been if he was healthy. Bogarts is about to come back, is what it seems like. We'll see what happens with Musgrove and with Darvish, but Michael King is pitching well. The bullpen, I think, as a whole, it's been pretty darn good as well. Yuki Matsui's been pitching really well the last 12 outings. Adrian Morahone, high leverage guy. Robert Suarez got his 21st and 22nd save, I believe, the last couple of nights. So it's been good. There's positive signs for sure with this club. And today, let's just go through what happened here today because obviously this is my post-game reaction. I already did a post-game reaction on YouTube for games 1 and games 2 of this series, and I'll still go through those games, but this game 3 here just happened. So Padres win 3-1. Michael King got the start. Top 4, Donovan Solano with the RBI double down the line, made it 1-0. And by the way, it was a tough day for this Padres team offensively because they could have won better than 3-1. Not just because they had opportunities with runners in scoring position, but because they got robbed a couple of times. Solely late with that great catch by the third baseman, like a Willie Mays style catch, basket. And then early in the game, Ha-Sung Kim was about to hit a home run and Langford robbed him. Great catch. Great plays, both of those. But yeah, they got robbed there. So this game could have not been a safe situation. But Solano makes it 1-0 there in the fourth. Profar with a homer made it 2-0. His 12th home run on the year. Hitting one off of Scherzer against your former team. That's got to be an awesome feeling after you were just named a starter for the All-Star game. No, bottom 6. Rangers got on the board. Wyatt Langford came through offensively, made it 2-1. And I'm not going to get mad at the Padres there. I mean, Wyatt Langford, if you were watching the game live, that was a great piece of hitting from him. He went down, got that pitch, and he was able to get it right in front of Profar there in left field. I was not mad at that. 2-1 game there. Top 7, Ha-Sung Kim makes it back into a 2-run game. 3-1 on the sac fly. And yeah, that was that. Now, there were some, there was a base running decision that I wasn't the biggest fan of, the send, where I think Solano, right, he got thrown out. Wasn't the biggest fan of that, but this is who this Padres team is. We discussed it during that Angels series on the road, right, where I think it was Profar that got thrown out running the bases, or maybe it was Kim. I forget who got thrown out. But it was like, was that the best send by Tim Leeper? But this is who this team is. The Padres have been rewarded this year by being aggressive, and at times they have not been rewarded. They've cost them outs by being aggressive. But I'd rather have this team be aggressive than to not be aggressive and not go for it. And then you're taking off runs off the board because when you are aggressive, you're probably going to take advantage of it. You're going to get rewarded. It's not dumb aggression, but being aggressive, you're going to get rewarded for it, So I'd rather have that happen than not. But yeah, Padres win this one 3-1. The bullpen stepped up. Jeremiah Estrada came in. I wasn't expecting him to come in when he did. I thought that it was an early pull, to be honest, from Mike Schilt on Michael King. He didn't go through 6 innings. He was under 100 pitches. He'd only walked 2 guys in the game. I know he just walked a guy, but I probably would have left Michael King in there, but I'm not the manager. Estrada didn't give up any earned runs. Now, a run was charged to King on the Langford single. So Estrada did end up, giving up that hit. But inning and 2/3 from him, only gave up that 1 hit, didn't walk anyone. And then they handed it over to Adrian Morejon, who goes an inning, doesn't give up any runs. Robert Suarez, an inning, no runs, did walk a guy, but struck out a guy as well. Manny Machado, what a play he made defensively as well. Back to back, actually. The dribbler where he ran in, or the check swing, I think it was, ran in on the ball, smooth play. We've seen that a bunch. I think we take it for granted sometimes with Manny. And then after that, ball's hit hard, backhands it, spins, throws to first like nothing. It's such a pleasure to be able to watch this guy defensively at third base. And then Jurickson Profar throwing out Adolis Garcia. Was that the best send? No. But it was still a good throw. Profar had to make a good throw. And he got the job done. So, yeah, Profar said no on that one. So the player of the game to me is Jurickson. There were guys that came through, Kim with the sac fly, making it 3-1, the bullpen, Michael King pitched well. But consider what Jurickson did today. He nailed the runner at home, so that takes away 1 run. He hit a home run, and that's 1 run there. The Padres won by 2. So you take away a run, now it's 2-1. If that runner would have scored, now it's a tie game 2-2, and who knows what happens, right? We're playing hypotheticals here, obviously, but I'm just saying. Huge game from Jurickson Profar. And for those that missed my reaction yesterday to Jurickson being named an all-star starter, I'm just happy for the guy. I mean, his journey, right? This high hype, a lot of hype with Jurickson Profar as a prospect, top prospect in baseball, a bunch of expectations on him. And then he doesn't get, like he was telling the media, didn't get the full opportunity to show the Rangers who he was and how great of a player he could be for them because he had some guys in front of him. Remember, he came up, I believe, when it was Ian Kinsler and Adrian Beltre and Elvis Andrus. And so he got to play when there were injuries, but then he had injuries as well. I think there was a surgery in there. And then he got traded after playing really his first full season in 2018 with Texas, gets traded to the A's, and then he gets traded again from the A's to the Padres because we know the A's don't hang on to guys. And with the Padres, he has the good 2022 season, right? But then he decides to opt out, and I would have done the same thing if I was Jurickson. But the offer that he got was 1 year with the Colorado Rockies, and the grass isn't greener on the other side all the time, And he goes to the Rockies, realizes, yeah, that's not a fit for me. And he ends up not being with the Rockies at the end of the year. He signs a minor league deal with the Padres. So to go from signing a minor league deal last year with a team that didn't make the postseason to making $1 million on a 1-year deal with that team, and it's not like it was a full guarantee that, yeah, he's going to be starting every day, to being the National League, one of the starters in the National League for the All-Star game, that's a heck of a story. And we're going to get to see him and his son, Kyrie, at the game. And Kyrie, seeing his reactions, I'd love to get like Profar mic'd up or Kyrie mic'd up or interviews during the Derby or during the week. That's going to be awesome to see. Because, and Profar has talked about it. It wasn't just his dream of being an all-star like this, but it's Kyrie. During the all-star break, Kyrie is locked into that. He loves watching that stuff. And so for him to be able to be there in Arlington with his dad as an all-star starter, not just being in the game as a replacement or something like that, but as a starter in the all-star game, as the best outfielder in the National League, if you look at like F4, that's pretty darn incredible. That's how can you not root for the guy? He's, the vibes, he's always smiling. So it's awesome. And then Tatis was named a starter as well. He's hurt, obviously, though. But like Schilt said in his postgame yesterday, it's impressive what he did because he was playing with a stress reaction in one leg, and he still outperformed almost every outfielder in the National League in the games that he played. And he still had an OPS of what, over 800, I think. And he still was hitting homers, and he still was running on that leg in the outfield. And he was hurt. He was playing hurt when he was on fire for that stretch of games before, like, 2 weeks, right, before he ended up going on the IL. He was still playing, but before that time there, he was on fire. And so what he did, that should be recognized as well. So congrats to both of those guys. I think Suarez is going to be a lock for the All-Star game. I think that Luis Ariz has a good shot at making it. I think Jackson Merrill will make the All-Star game. So it's not just going to be jerks in there. He's going to have some company. So that's awesome. But yeah, getting back to today's game, Michael King, I thought he pitched well. 5 1/3. Again, I thought he should have been given the opportunity to finish those and go 6, but they went to Jeremiah Estrada. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run from Michael, 2 walks, 5 punch outs. His ERA is down to 3.51, and his last 2 outings have been pretty darn good. I'm pulling the Boston one up right now. Give me a second here. 6 innings, 1 earned run. Gave up 5 runs against Milwaukee, but the 2 outings before that, 4 outings. So let's go back to the beginning of June. June 2nd against the Royals, 7 innings, 1 earned run. Then 5 innings, no runs. Then 5 innings, 2 earned runs. Then 4 2/3, 1 earned run. So that's not a lot of length, right? I know he went 7 innings against the Royals. It's not a lot of length, but in terms of earned runs, he's helping you stay in games and be a reason why you're winning baseball games. So I'm confident in Michael King right now. That could change, obviously. It's July 4th, but there were a lot of home runs being given up for Michael King earlier on in the year, and seems like he's been able to fix that problem as of now. So happy for him. Happy for him for sure. Because he's had to come over with these new circumstances with the Padres, obviously. He was on the East Coast with the Yankees, comes over to the West Coast. He is given the opportunity. Now, it's also some pressure as well because you're in the rotation and you're going to be relied upon, especially with the injuries to Darvish, to Musgrove. But he deals with that pressure and embraces being in this rotation. And he's been given the Padres the starts, right? Hasn't had to go on the IL this year, unless I'm just having a brain fart right now. Has made his starts, and it seems like he's getting in a groove now. So I'm happy for him. But yeah, it was when you beat Max Scherzer, you beat the Rangers, just to take 2 out of 3 on the road. That's a fun flight home for the guys. Definitely. And you're 5 games over 500. Yesterday, getting the 6-4 win. Manny homers. Man, he loves hitting that slider. 0-0 count, which is not surprising. He loves swinging on the first pitch as well. Slider, homer, made it 2-0. Tavares sac fly made it 2-1 Padres. Seager with the double, 2-2. Josh Smith with the double, 3-2. Adam Azier got into trouble there, leaving too many pitches in the sweet zone there for the Rangers. Bottom 4, Jonah Heim, sac fly, 4-2 Rangers. But then the Padres come back, put the ball in play. Good things can happen. Merrill with the single, just over the third base bag, makes it 4-3 Texas. Top 6, Ariz with the single, 4-4. And then top 7, David Peralta comes up with his signature Padres moment so far, 2-run homer, and makes it 6-4 there. Solano was on base for that. And I'm so happy. I talk about how I'm happy for King. I'm happy for Pro. I'm happy for David Peralta. I mean, a good sliding catch that he made today as well. I love the effort from him there in right field before, I believe, Bryce Johnson took over. But Peralta, he has struggled, and he's going to have to perform if he wants to stay on this big league roster. And Mike Shildt played the matchups these last couple of games. Peralta had some success off of John Gray. And I know this was the 7th inning. This was, John Gray was out of the game already, but it paid off having Peralta up in this lineup up in that situation, took advantage of where that pitch location was, takes it out of the yard. And this, remember, and Padres fans, I don't have to remind you guys, right, of how David Peralta, how good of a hitter this guy is. And I was excited when David Peralta came to the Padres. Like, you can't not like the decision because I think it was a minor league deal at the time, right? He was with El Paso. You can't not like it because he's a professional hitter. Look at all the years that he smacked around Padres pitching. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that lefty bat in the Padres organization, of course. And it hasn't worked out the way that I would like it to in terms of production, but it seems he's always up on the top step. Seems like he's a great teammate, and he is so appreciative of this opportunity that has been given to him by the Padres because he was on a minor league deal with the Cubs, I believe. He's appreciative of it, not taking it for granted, and it seems like he's playing with a lot of joy. And I love when he was rounding first there, just the emotion that you could see, just maybe it was an exhale, just pumped up to help this team win. Again, team is key word there. It's a team, an actual team. And I think it makes it much more fun to watch this team this year. The bullpen, after Mazur gave up 4 runs in 4 innings, Matsui, no runs allowed. Inning and a third, no runs allowed. Last 12 outings, I don't believe he's allowed an earned run. Morahone, inning and 2/3, no runs. Estrada, 2/3 an inning, no runs. Suarez, 21st save of the year before he got his 22nd today. He has a 1.02 ERA. It was 1.05 yesterday, now down to 1.02 after today's inning of work. So just great job almost all around by the Padres yesterday. So a 6-4 win there. By the way, can we talk about that fan? That Texas Rangers fan. Was he drunk already? I assume he was drunk already. He went and got another beer after I thought he got ejected. But late in the game, there's the foul ball, and he didn't even get the foul ball, did he? He's standing on, by the way, it's a foul ball. He's standing on the top of the Padres dugout on the visitor's side, and he's trying to go catch the ball. Thankfully, there was a net there. Or maybe if there wasn't a net, he wouldn't have done it. Maybe he did it because he's like, yeah, I'll be fine. But he goes up there on the dugout, which you're not allowed to do. And then he jumps into the netting. And then it was like a trampoline, shot him right back out, back onto the top of the dugout, back kind of into his first row there. And I thought security did the right thing and kick him out. But then moments later, the broadcast shows the fan coming back with a beer in his hand, sitting there in the first row. It's like, what? How are you? I saw something on social media like the Padres didn't want him to be ejected or something, but I'm sorry. What if that net didn't hold the guy? Manny would have gotten crushed. Manny was standing right there. Like, that is a scary situation there. I love Mud's call, by the way, like calling the dude a clown. Like, what are you doing? I assume he was drunk or else you're just an idiot for getting up there on the top of the dugout and doing that. Like, it's a baseball. You don't need a baseball that much. This isn't Aaron Judge's record-breaking homer that was hit in Texas. It's a foul ball. Like, let's relax here. But yeah, I've never seen that before. I guess what we do know is that the nets work, but I don't think that still gives fans should give fans the motivation, the inspiration to go jump. If there was no net there, you'd be jumping into the visitor's dugout on a foul ball. But that was nuts. Yeah, that was crazy. But the Padres got that win yesterday, 6-4. Game 1 of this series, not as fun. Definitely not as fun. 7-0 loss. Dylan Cease, I think that's where we got to start and really talk about for the most part in this game, because offensively, I don't have a whole lot to say. There were some opportunities, but there wasn't very many opportunities with runners in scoring position. They got 2 hits. Bryce Johnson was the first one, and that wasn't very early in the game. Solano, I believe, was the other hit. Yeah, he went 1 for 3. But when Arias goes over, Profar goes over, Crony goes over, Manny goes over, Merrill goes over, you're not going to win very many games, if any games at all. That's just the way it is. But I think the focus is Dylan Cease. He goes 3 2/3, so doesn't even make it through 4. 6 earned runs, walked a couple of guys, didn't strike out 9 or 10 like he did the last couple of outings, I believe. Struck out just 5 guys. And so, how concerned should we be about Dylan Cease? Short term, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned because you look at his outings, and there were some on social media that were acting like Dylan Cease has sucked. And yeah, since the beginning of June, it has not been the Dylan Cease that we expected. But he's had some Dylan Cease outings in there where he goes 6 innings, 1 run, or 7 innings against the Nats. His last outing before this one, 7 innings, no earned runs, just 1 hit that he gives up, strikes out 9. So it's in there. But the issue with Dylan Cease, at least for me, is poor pitch selection. Like the throwaway changeup that he threw that was ended up being a home run. Sure, the batter low should not have even been up at the plate because he already had struck out that the umpire didn't call earlier in the at bat. But why are you throwing that pitch in the count like that? It's one thing if you just, start an at bat or you're ahead 0-2 and you just want to get the batter to think about something, that eephus changeup that he has, but to throw it in that count. Now, it was out of the zone, so that's just power from low to hit that homer. But still, I didn't agree with that pitch selection there. And then the other ones just not being able to locate good enough. And Measure, right? That's like 93 down the middle. Cease, it's not 93, but still, these are big league hitters. They are used to facing 97. They're used to facing 99 on a daily basis, on a nightly basis. And so, regardless of who you are, you have to hit your spots. I mean, I guess there's exceptions like Paul Skeens or Duran with the Twins, right? Sometimes guys that throw gas. But even if you throw 97, right? I forget what the exact like average fastball of Dylan Cease right now, but let's just say it's a 97, 96. You do that, that's not that big of a surprise to big league hitters because they're facing that every day. So you obviously want to cut down on the walks, but it's not like he's Blake Snell walking 4 or 5 guys. He's walking 2. For me, it's too many hits. You give up 8 hits, and then you have 2 free passes on top of it. The home runs have been a problem. We know the home runs were a problem with Michael King. He's since fixed that, it seems like. Now, the home run problem, it's being transferred to Dylan Cease. And so, yeah, I think short term, we should be a little bit concerned. Long term, though, I'm not concerned because it's July 4th. And I know that Dylan Cease has the talent. And we've seen guys recently, like someone like Blake Snell, who has the talent. Maybe they don't pitch great all season long. And there's a little bit of a rough patch in the first, technically, pre All-Star break, first half. And for the podcast audience, air quotes, first half of the season. And so there's a lot of starts left for Dylan Cease, hopefully, assuming he stays healthy. And so, no, I'm not going to be long-term concerned about Dylan Cease unless he goes like the month of July and he's still doing this. The entire month of July, right? So I'm willing to give him the wiggle room. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's not forget, I know it's easy to forget, but let's not forget how he started his Padres tenure, where he didn't give up more than 2 earned runs until his, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 start of the year. Then after that, he gave up 1 earned run, no earned runs, 3 earned runs, clunker, 5 earned runs. Since then, it's been up and down. But he started the year with an ERA well below sub-3. So let's not forget that. And let's not forget, Dylan Cease has the talent. It's not like, and Michael King has talent as well. But I think there was more of a question mark with Michael King. It was kind of like Seth Lugo going into last year. How is he going to be as a starter? With Michael King, we can see he can start games. As we saw last year with Seth Lugo, he can start games. So I'm hoping this is kind of like a Blake Snell thing where he can get over it, and you're going to see that consistency from Dylan Cease after the All-Star break. Hopefully before, in his couple starts whatever he has before the All-Star break. But hopefully, definitely, consistently after the All-Star break. Hopefully he gets a nice break. I don't think he's going to be an All-Star, even though in Texas there's a Dylan Cease flag out there. I saw from Allison Edmonds of KUSI. She was out there, and I guess there's a Dylan Cease All-Star game banner out there. I assume those were just like made in April or something just to get them ordered. And people saw the ERA from Dylan Cease and were like, yeah, let's print one for him. Because I just don't see, other than the name, I don't see him being an all-star. There's a lot of other guys that are more deserving this year than Dylan. But we'll see. There could be a bunch of replacements. But yeah, I don't have a ton to add on game one. It was Dylan Cease put the Padres in a big hole. And it's hard to win baseball games when you're put into a big hole and when you get 2 hits and all of your best hitters don't get a hit in the game. It's hard. But Padres take 2 out of 3. That's what matters the most. You keep winning road series, I'm going to be a happy camper. Padres fans are going to be happy as well. And so yeah, overall a 4-2 road trip. Take 2 out of 3 from Boston, who was playing well. I think it won 8 out of 10 going in. You take 2 out of 3 from Texas. I'm not going to be complaining too much. All right, quick break, and then I will get to the chat. Check out Gaglione Bros' famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries on Friars Road. You can visit their website, gaglionebros.com, for their entire menu and enjoy their cheesesteaks and fries at Petco Park and Snapdragon Stadium as well. All right. By the way, the series starters for the D-back series that's coming up this weekend, Star Wars Weekend. That's a tongue twister. Star Wars Weekend. Those have been announced. Sammy Levitt here with the tweet. Randy Vasquez will pitch Friday. So tomorrow, which is good. There was that question mark because he was hit hard on that line drive back at him at Fenway. I think that was a week ago, right? That was the Friday game, I think. Anyway, he's going to go Friday. Matt Waldron will go on Saturday. Dylan Cease will pitch Sunday. 3 series before the All-Star break. We got the D-backs. We've got the Mariners for 2, I believe. And then we got the Atlanta Braves coming to town. So should be a nice, entertaining homestand for our Padres. Hope to see you out there. All right. Let's get to the chat. Billy says, Estrada lost so much weight from being sick. Now he looks like Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. You missed me with that reference because I don't think I've seen that movie. Or I've seen clips of it probably, but I'm not immediately like, oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But, yeah, if you've watched Estrada here this weekend, it's not this weekend. It's July 4th, so I'm thinking it's a weekend. This week, yeah, you have that same conclusion as well. And like I said, I think it was my pregame thoughts or my postgame yesterday. I don't know if he's going to gain that back during the season. I assume it's easier for pitchers than position players. But in the season, when you're playing every day and you're a pitcher, you're still throwing a lot, even if you're not pitching in games. You're still throwing and you're still working out, and so you're on your feet. So I don't know. We'll see. It seems like the velocity's still there. G-Money88 says, Happy 4th of July, Ben. It sure feels damn good to be a Padre fan today. That's right. Good to see guys like Peralta and Donnie Barrels coming through. This team has the feel of a fun one coming this October. It does. I don't remember how I was feeling early July of 2022, but I'm pretty sure I was feeling comparable to this, and I was feeling better than what I was feeling July of 2020. Actually, I mean, July 4th of 2023. Remember last year? That was last year, right? When Crony had the Bogarts and Crony had homers off of Shohei. Shohei was pitching for the Angels. That was a fun day. So I think I was feeling really good then. That was like one of the highlights of last year. But I'm talking about just in general where the team was at. It's a different feeling for sure. Connor says, Happy 4th, Ben. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you do as well. Rob says, I'm glad we took the series. G-Money88, going to see Xander tonight in El Paso. Hopefully he looks good. Yeah, nice. Xander, he's going to be DHing tonight, I believe, and then he's going to be playing some second base after tonight. The Chihuahuas posted that his rehab's going to be, I think, through Sunday. So that should give him a good amount of at-bats, and he could be back. I think there's an off day for the Padres Monday, right? Before 2 against the Mariners, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that could give Xander plenty of time to get back to San Diego and be able to play. Yeah, off day on Monday the 8th. 3 games starting tomorrow against the D-backs. 6:40, 6:40, and 1:10. Then Monday, day off. Tuesday, Wednesday, 6:40 and 3:40 against the Mariners. And then day off Thursday. So they have 2 days off in a 4-day span. And then they've got 3 games against the Braves, and then they've got 4 days off before 1 series against the Guardians, and then another day off. So, yeah, let's capitalize on all the days off this month. John says Donnie Barrels and Bobby Bullets. I don't think I've heard the Bobby Bullets nickname, but that's a good one. Big P says, yo, Ben, it's Parker, the kid that talked to you in the last live stream. I know you probably don't want people to join, but let me know if I can join to talk about the Padres. Yes. Okay, so I am seeing this, David. I see you saying as well. Is there no join show link? I can put it there. Do you want me to put it there? I didn't put it there because I don't want people just coming in here randomly like last time and being disrespectful on the show. That's all. Those people that did that, they think it's funny, but I think they probably need to grow up. That's what I would say to them. So I'll put it in. I'm not going to pin it at the top of the chat. Okay? I'm just going to put it in right now, and you're going to have to find it because I want to try to avoid what happened last time. So I put it in. If someone tries to pull what they did last time, I will immediately take you off of the show. So don't think that you're going to be doing that for very long. But yeah, Parker, no doubt you can come join. I leave that link there so that Padres fans, even if you're not a Padres fan, as long as you're respectful and you come in here and just talk about baseball, you can have something funny to say about the team and stuff, but I want to keep it Padres or San Diego sports centric. I don't need people being disrespectful. That's all. I feel good, Surplus. Yeah, about the Padres making the playoffs. He or she says, Padres definitely making it to the playoffs. With this mediocre NL wild card, it sure seems like it. And I don't expect every wild card team to be buying. For sure. I think that they're going to take a step back and realize, are we a World Series team? And if we're not, then let's go sell some pieces. Or they'll stand pat and they'll do the whole, we believe in this group of guys. We'll see. All right, David, what's up, man?
First, I wanted to say I'm not like the other people. I'm not a little baby. I know how to handle myself. Second, I just want to say happy 4th of July. I hope you're having a good 4th of July. It's a great day.
Yep, you too.
And third, I love this Padres team. I mean, we're 5 games over 500 without our best lineup and pitchers. It's just impressive what we're doing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No Tatis, no Xander, no Darvish, no Musgrove. Yeah. And they played a Red Sox team at Fenway, and the Red Sox were playing good baseball at the time. Going into Texas, I'm not going to make it seem like the Texas Rangers were our last year's Texas Rangers, but it's still a road series. They still had some good performances these last couple of days. And how many, 4 consecutive series wins, I think, in a row? I'm going to take that all day.
Yeah. I mean, I also want to talk Merrill. I don't think that he's going to do that bad, but I also don't think he's going to hit in the 3 spot that often. I think he only hit in the 3 spot today because Cronenworth was not playing today. So I don't think he's going to be hitting the lead up in the 3 spot that much. I think he's going to go back to the 6-7 spot where he's comfortable and where we kind of need him because you need rally starters,
Yeah, I think, he was hitting 3rd today, yeah, because no Crony. So they wanted that lefty with Scherzer on the mound, so it made sense. And it's like I said in my pregame thoughts, it's not like it was undeserved by Merrill. He's one of the Padres' best players this year, period. So he should be an all-star this year. So, yeah, I was totally fine with it. I was interested in what was going to happen that first at bat. He didn't look great on that fastball up from Scherzer, but it's Max Scherzer still, and he's still a good pitcher. He still provided length for the Rangers today. And yeah, I think Merrill, I think he'd be leading off if Arise was not on this team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good thing to have him fifth or sixth, something like that, because he deserves to be at least there and not eighth, right? And so, yeah, but I agree. He's not going to be. Yeah, Crony deserves to be hitting, around the 3 spot.
Yeah. Also wanted to hit on Cease. I mean, he's kind of like Snell, but like less walks. He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, less walks. I don't know about you guys, but do you remember when we first got Cease? Wasn't that the comparison? Was that this was like a lesser version of another Blake Snell?
Yeah, because people are like he's inconsistent sometimes, and like I think you actually said that he had like a 4-year ERA or something last year. And then
Yeah,
2022 like it took a 2-year ERA, so he's kind of like up and down, but he should be fine.
yeah. Again, yeah. Long term, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, definitely not super concerned about Cease. The talent is there. The nastiness is there. I mean, just go watch some of his outings this season. It's not like it's been like this the entire season. Um, but again, I'm not making it. I don't want to make it seem like Padres fans should be all happy about what they're seeing from Cease. No doubt, like it's frustrating. It's disappointing right now. But I mean, his last time out, it was really good, and then this time out, it wasn't. So I just hope that he's going to be able to find that consistency. And Ruben, Ben Fritz, I want to give credit to as many people that deserve it as much as I can of turning pitchers around. Yuki Matsui was in some trouble there, and look what has happened since. So they've got a staff that can get these guys back into being who they should be.
Yeah. I also wanted to hit. I don't think isn't Bogarts coming back in like a few weeks. I believe so.
I don't know if it's going to take that long. I saw El Paso's tweet. It was through Sunday for the rehab. Maybe it's not through Sunday. Maybe it's through Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever. Bogarts knows how many at bats he needs. I think mostly it's about the at bats. I think it's about getting in games, getting back to standing at second base for 9 innings, the two-handed finish on his swings. I think that's important that he wants the reps on.
Mm-hmm.
That's doing it in games is different than doing it in BP. So I think whenever he feels comfortable with that, I think that's when he's going to come back. I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to rush it. I think that it's not going to be 1 or 2 rehab games. It's going to be more than that, but I don't think it's going to be through the All-Star break. At least, there could be setbacks, but at least right now.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was going through my head earlier trying to figure out what the lineup would look like with Bogarts in it, because I really, really, really want Cronenworth at second base because he's just better defensively.
Yeah.
But that probably is not going to happen because they're going to put Xander at second and then Cronenworth back at first and then Arise at the DH again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen because Manny, he's back at third, so that's good. Kim, they're not going to have Bogarts go play short consistently. I love Crony at second base. I mean, those that have followed the show, big fan of Crony at second base. Defensively, he provides so much value to this team when he's playing second base. But they're not going to put Bogarts at first, and Bogarts is playing second base. He's going to, at least that's the plan, in his rehab games. If he was going to play short, they'd put him at short in the rehab games. They'd put him at first. They'd have him only DH or something. He's going to go back to second is what it definitely seems like. So, yeah, that means that less at-bats for Solano, but it's not the end of the world that Solano's a bat off the bench for a Bryce Johnson or something late in the game.
Yeah, like when you have, I'm pretty sure I saw someone in the chat saying he's hitting around 300. If you have a person batting 300 on your bench to come in and be clutch, that's how you know you're in a really good spot.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. All right, David. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Parker, I see him. What's up, Parker?
It's good.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
What'd you think? 2 out of 3 here in Texas, 2 out of 3 in Boston. Good road trip.
Yeah, it was definitely good because at first, going into the first game, you would think that we're going to get swept after you look at getting 7-0'd. But then yesterday we get the lead, and then Major kind of gets in trouble there. But bullpen looked really good, which is probably the best thing to take away from it. And then Peralta was awesome to see him get a nice hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then today I was a little nervous going into the game. I didn't know with Scherzer on the bump. I thought we'd probably struggle. But having that bottom of the order wasn't very strong today and still able to win games, that was pretty good to see.
Yeah, and that's a good point with the bottom of the order. David Peralta, this is the 7-0 game that I have up right now. But David Peralta, where was he in the lineup today? I think he was
6.
Yeah, 6, 7, 6.
I think
All right,
6.
I'm pulling it up right now. But yeah, the bottom of the order, that's going to be big. When Bogarts comes back, obviously that's going to slide the David Peraltas of the world down. Let's see. Peralta was 6th, yeah. And then Ha-Seong Kim, I mean, he hit a home run today. It was robbed,
Yeah.
but he hit a home run today. So having those guys at the bottom, you have Jackson Merrill hitting probably 6th, something like that when Bogarts comes back. In Bogarts, when he comes back from injury, he usually plays well. Or at least last year, came back from the wrist, or the cortisone shot from the wrist, all-star break, played well right after that. Beginning of the year, when he was healthy, played really well. So you add that to this lineup, and I know there's not Tatis until August at some point, hopefully. There's definitely still the talent to stay where they're at. 5 games over, 4 games over, something like that, to be comfortably, at least, in comparison to the other NL wildcard teams, comfortably in a playoff spot.
Yeah. If you were to look at the game today and you didn't watch it, you would think that Kim didn't play well at all, but he had probably should have been 2-3 hits today.
Yeah, liner at the third baseman, homer to left.
Wyatt Langford just kind of stuck his glove out there and caught it.
Yeah.
But he had a really good day. But one of my questions is who do you think, or do you think we'll go and trade for someone or no?
Oh yeah, it's AJ Preller. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a starter and then a reliever. I'm not sure if they're going to add another bat, but everything that I'm seeing is they're looking for a frontline starter. They're looking for a high leverage frontline reliever, if that makes sense. That's what I'm seeing. From Kevin, from Dennis. And it's July 4th. Let's be honest, they're focused on the draft because that's what the biggest thing is, especially for Preller coming up. But once that passes, I think we're going to be hearing, or maybe we won't, because sometimes when we don't hear the rumors, Preller makes a move. But there were rumors, I believe, about a rise, and then they make that deal. I forget how many rumors there were about Cease, and then they make that deal. So sometimes it's quiet and there's something that happens, and sometimes there's a lot. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about Soto because there was going to be, and they acquired Soto back in 2022. So we'll see. I'm not expecting a big all-star name. Maybe it's a good reliever name for baseball fans that follow the league, but I'm not expecting any Dylan Cease, huge starter name coming at the deadline.
Yeah, Kolek actually. I looked at it. His last 13 innings he's pitched, he hasn't gave up more than 1 run, or earned run from his part. He's actually, I know he's not a huge guy, but he's actually looked pretty good. The bullpen itself has looked really good.
Yeah, good point. All right, Parker. Hopefully, have a great rest of your July 4th, man.
All right, you too.
See ya. All right. Getting back to the chat. Actually, before I get to the chat, sorry. Just want to remind you guys about some of the great partners of the show. I think I was going to do that, and then I didn't. But Breaking Tea, Padres, Aztecs, Wave. Wave, by the way, play tomorrow against Portland before the Olympic break. Padres, Aztecs, Wave shirts and sweatshirts. Breaking Tea, they just released a Jackson Barrel shirt, so you can click the link in the description if you want to go get your Jackson Barrel shirt. There's some Profar shirts that are out there from Breaking Tea as well. Obviously, the Mr. Relevant shirt. And then there was another one that they made after the National Series. So if you want to support our starting outfielder in the All-Star game, feel free to do that with Breaking T. And then Underdog Fantasy, you will get a 50% deposit match up to $250 and claim a special pick when you use code Talking Friars or click that link in the description with Underdog Fantasy. Same code, Talking Friars, $20 off your first order with SeatGeek. Obviously, a big, long homestand coming up for the Padres before the All-Star break. And after that, they don't come back till the very end of July when the Dodgers come to town. So you want to come to a Padre game? Do it now. You know, this upcoming homestand, because they're going to be away for weeks once that All-Star break starts. All right. Dan says, good series win again. Need to keep it going at home to the All-Star break and into late October/November. Yeah, November for sure. I sure hope so. That would be awesome. Brody says there were 2 out. Scherzer on the heel. It took a perfect throw. Any other kind of throw he scores, I had no issues with it. Do you really think the odds are better? I think the odds are better of a bad throw. That's a fair point. I think earlier in the year, that Angel series, I said I was kind of fine with the send, right? Like, you had to make a great relay throw, but that was different because it wasn't just a single to left. It was a ball down the line. The ball was at the fence, and the Angels had to make a good relay. So I think that was the difference there. But no, I mean, that's a good argument. Like, I'm not going to be someone that's going to get super pissed off at a send when you're being aggressive, because I'd rather you be aggressive than not. And yeah, you're right. It does take a good throw to nab. I think it was Solano running, right? But Solano is not fast, right? He's not that fast. And then Arise tried to steal a base today, and it's like, why? I get it. There were 2 outs there, and I think there were 2 strikes, but Profar's up. Maybe he finds a gap. I don't know. I'm just not going to send Arise in that situation. I'm just not. Let's see. Ducky says Merrill not ready to get moved up in the lineup. Well, I'm fine with him hitting 6th, but no, I'm good with Merrill hitting 3rd on days where Crony's not in the lineup and you want a lefty in that 3 spot. I don't think it's the end of the world. The guy hit 9 home runs in June. You know, this isn't Albert Pujols, but there's still some power there. He hits to all fields. I'm fine with it. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm ready to say after one game that he's not ready to get moved up in the lineup. And he's not going to. Again, Crony wasn't in the lineup. Bogart is not here. Tatis is not in the lineup. If those guys were here, there'd probably be a different 3-hitter, but that's just not what it was. I froze. Hopefully I'm not frozen anymore. Yeah, David, I agree. I love this Padres team right now. The vibes are good. I love seeing, after wins, you see Merrill dancing in the outfield. You see Profar with a big smile on his face. Kim, they're joking around. Ruben and Schilt, walking back to the dugout, and they've got smiles on their face. Like, this is what sports is, right? The joy of winning, and just having a good day at the yard. Let's see. LFGSD. By the way, anyone see what Trent Grisham's up to? Holy cow. I know that his relaxed play kind of pissed fans off sometimes in center field for the Padres. Well, relaxed is probably putting it pretty friendly today with that single to center. Yankees Reds, he's in center. Yankees are not playing great baseball right now. They got swept by the Reds. Single to center. Grish lazily leans over to pick a ball up, and the glove is not even like in front of his foot or near his foot. And so That was bad. He bobbles the ball, and the guy, the Reds runner on that single, runs to second base, and Grish can't throw him out. Just a terrible look. And obviously, Yankees fans get on him, and that's deservedly so. Padres fans should get on him too if that happened here. And I guess my point there is just like, not that I hated Trent Grisham, because I didn't. I loved watching him play center field when he made those plays look easy, running into the gap and making a catch, stuff like that. But I am happier with Jackson Merrill in center field. And I am happier having someone like Jackson Merrill on this team who wins June Rookie of the Month and doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, it's July, June's over. Let's worry about July. Like, that is his mentality. And he cares about winning. He's not going to be taking plays off. He made an error in center field, right? He ran into the gap. I think it was on Friday. Not Friday. See, I still think it's the weekend. On, what was that, Tuesday, game 1? Ran into the gap, left center, bobbles the ball, and that wasn't even a terrible error. It's not like the ball was right to him. And I was like, oh my gosh, he made an error. He's made, I think, 2 errors this season. So, and this is transitioning to center field. After working his butt off to play left, Padres say in spring training, you're in center. And he's like, okay. Makes the team. He's one of the best players on the team, period. He should be an all-star. I just love the mentality. And then him playing well, playing better than Grish, obviously helps as well. But, yeah, trading Grish, it opened up the door. Well, Soto, obviously, as well. Guess what? No left fielder, no center fielder. Profar comes in, all-star. Merrill has to go play center, and he's going to be, hopefully, an all-star. AJ Preller, tip your cap to him. I know that we can bang on some moves, but there's some where it's like, man, it's turning out pretty good. Soto for 1 year, he wasn't going to sign here long-term. Michael King, they get back in that deal. They use Thorpe to go get Dylan Cease, who has the talent. You got depth with Brito and Vasquez. Higgy is like, Barry Bonds out there all of a sudden, catching, at the plate, I should say. So, yeah, there's a lot of moves that we should give props to AJ for. That talent identification, it's special. It is. Who do you think we should go trade for? It's interesting because there are relievers out there like on the Angels or the Nats that intrigue me. Garrett Crochet is obviously a name that's going to get thrown out there, but I guess it intrigues me because it's interesting on what would happen. But so I'll say it this way: what concerns me is he comes to the Padres and he has innings limits. He could go to the bullpen and be effective, but what the Padres are going to be giving up is acquiring Crochet to be a starter. And I know he has a control, but you're acquiring this guy. The White Sox are asking for starter, a starting pitcher return, not a reliever return, So I just wonder. And there is an injury history there. So should the Padres swing big with that, or should they go get a lesser starter? Because let's face it, this Padres rotation in the postseason, who were they going to rely upon regardless of what was going to happen this year? If they were hurt, then the Padres are probably screwed. Darvish, Musgrove, Cease. And you could throw King in there, right? That's who you're relying upon going into the year. And even, I think Padres fans would say at the beginning of the year, even if you acquire someone at the deadline, you're probably still going to be relying on those big 3, Darvish, Musgrove, Cease, especially. Now, if one of those guys is hurt and King steps up, like he's pitching well right now and he's pitching like that, then okay, he can go in there. But in the postseason, you're usually relying on 3 starters to pitch well. That 4th guy who has to pitch in those best of 7, if he doesn't pitch well, hopefully the offense steps up, or maybe you just lose that game. But you want those big 3. You look at successful teams in the postseason, there are those big 3. So that's why I'm like with the Padres, maybe they just go get a 4th, 5th guy and add him as depth in that rotation, and they don't go big on a Garrett Crochet. It depends on what the White Sox are going to be asking for, you know? Yes, Brandon. Bogey plays his first rehab today. Brandon asked, do you think Kim's hit was going over the fence if he didn't get robbed? Amazing catch, but debatable on if it was. I think it would have been. At least it would have hit the top of the wall and went over. I think it would have been. If not, I mean, okay, so he hit a liner at third, which could have been a double down the line. He hit that ball well that could have been off the wall and would have been a double. So he did get robbed of multiple hits today, regardless. Yeah, Don and Mud were hilarious this series in Texas. Did you guys see that the Section 10 podcast? Coley, I think was his name, saying how Don doesn't. It was clear listening Padres Red Sox before this Ranger series that Don doesn't give an F about San Diego, and I'm like, what? Tell me you don't watch Padres broadcast without telling me you don't watch Padres broadcast. He doesn't care about it. Sure seems like he cares about San Diego on those calls. It sure seems like he's having a good time with Mud. Sure seems like he loves living in San Diego with all the fishing that he does and the Donatangelos and all that. So, I don't know. That was funny. Parker asks, how can we keep Solano and Bogey in the lineup at the same time? Do you think Arise can play in the outfield? No, I don't. They're not putting him in the outfield. No, it's first base, second base, DH with Arise. I don't think they'd put him out there. What, you're going to put him out there in right field at Petco? Or put him out there in left and have Profar with the knee thing go play right? I'm not so sure about that. So I think the answer is Solano he's not in the lineup every day. And if someone goes cold, then Solano's in the lineup and that guy will get a day off. That's how I see it. I think it's a luxury, obviously. And Schilt can play more of the matchup game with Solano and Bogey and Crony and Kim and Manny all there. There's that luxury. Well, where now you don't have that extra guy with Bogey, and so Solano is getting a lot of those at-bats. And hopefully Manny's health continues to get better so that he doesn't take up the DH spot. Because then you have Solano at third, Kim at short, Bogarts at second, and then Arise isn't playing because you're going to have Crony at first, I would think, over Arise. I do. I have a good feeling about Bogey. I do. Coming off of an injury, I feel like he's going to play well like last year. We'll see. All right, Talking Friars episode 614. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, Padres fans. Got a good homestand coming up before the All-Star break. Talk to y'all later. See ya.